We are. What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
What's up, man? Good to see you.
You can't put a hand out like that open. I'm gonna want to clasp it. It's just instinctive for me.
You guys obviously know.
Not obviously.
Who this demon is, but if you don't, you want to introduce yourself, let the people know who you are.
Yeah, I'm Zane Lowe. I'm originally from Auckland, New Zealand, and I live now in London, and I work at BBC Radio 1, and I DJ and make music.
You, to me, are like the human equivalent of soccer. Because world over, you're loved. In America, the diehards really, really focus on you,
You know what, though? It's very kind of you to say that people around the world even, would recognize what I do, but primarily to come to America and play records is to even have an opportunity to be here on this tour with Knife Party and stuff is like a blessing. So I'm just grateful to be here, man. Seriously.
Absolutely, man. And first of all,
especially after what happened in Customs today, man, I'm grateful to actually be here because it was a long ass queue.
What's the crowds like when you get on stage? Because I know that, you're known mostly for BBC Radio 1, but you do DJ as well, and you put on a kick-ass set, man. Like, job well done, dude. But when you're on stage and you're up there and you're playing your music, what's the crowd normally like to your set specifically?
I try and elicit a response from them. I try and get all up in their area from my area and try and connect to them as much as possible. And some nights that could be a joyous situation, and some nights it could feel more like it's kind of berating them into moving and getting moving, whatever I think they need in order to kind of shake off whatever's keeping them down.
Right.
And the rest is just having the records, to back it up.
I know that London has a mayor, but honestly, I consider you to be like the king of London, man, because you run that. See, I have friends that live in Manchester, and they listen to your show, and they're like, dude, Zane Lowe is the coolest motherfucker on the planet, because the stuff that he does on radio, the way he he produces his show, the way he breaks record. You're the guy that will get exclusives from American bands before we get them over here. When it comes to putting a show together for you, because I know that there are different radio rules in Britain as opposed to in America with the FCC and whatnot. What is your process like in putting a show together, in coming up with these exclusives, and just finding bands to break and to make them the bands that they are in the UK and then eventually hopefully around the planet?
It's varied, and you rely on information from a lot of different sources, primarily hopefully your own, and then you listen to the people around you, from people who you work with on the show, right through to people who are trusted, work in record industry, from publishing to A&R, to just people on the street or people you meet at gigs who give you things. Chances are, you're going to discover more than enough music to fill that week. Right. There's a lot of incredible music out there, and when I first got that job, I thought, well, it's going to be really hard. That's 8 hours of radio a week. How am I going to find that much exciting music which is going to move me? But we never have enough time to do so. And so you're just looking for the records that feel authentic and feel real and feel passionate and exciting, and they're made from the right place. Right. And you can sort of tell. You can tell really by listening to a song, really hopefully within the first 60 seconds, what the chemistry is like within the band, or whether the artist is connected to his inspiration, what's driving him or her to make that music. And from that point forward, you just keep your fingers crossed that it's going to have legs and going to go further than a song or two.
Is radio, though, in the UK, is it still a driving force of discovering new music as opposed to here in the United States, where I don't think it is as much now? I think it's more in the United States. I think it's more the blogosphere.
Well, what the blogosphere to me has done is it's replicated the American college radio scene that existed back in the sort of 80s. Okay. That was so important to bands like the Replacements and REM and the Smiths in terms of breaking America. Sure. And it really created a direct conduit between an audience who wanted to hear that music. It was like, that's where I go to hear it. I don't have to wait around till 1 o'clock in the morning for the 1 hour show in the middle of the night. It's going to play it, all this other stuff. And what the internet's done is it's taken the power and given that back to the listeners and gone, if you want to discover this, then there are people who will find it for you and filter it down for you. Right. So that's why music in America is really so healthy, and that's why there's so many fantastic and exciting experimental bands that have sort of popped out of the last 3 or 4 years. It really comes down to the internet and what those writers are writing and what those people are discovering. And I think in the UK we're very lucky. We have blogs and we have things that are important, but we also have the BBC. And as long as the BBC exists, I do really believe that it will be in a position where it can champion new music and take risks, because we don't have we have our own pressures. We don't have the commercial pressures.
Right. As far as bands now that exist, or albums that maybe have come out this year, what are your top 3 albums that have just knocked you on your ass and been like,
the number one album for me of the year is Kendrick Lamar, hands down.
Really?
Oh my God, that's record's just like incredible. I mean, to me, what he's done with Dre and his crew is kind of brought storytelling back to rap music and brought a sense of drama and theater to rap music. It's not just a selection of songs in an order. You know, from the minute the album starts, you feel like Kanye does. You know, you feel like you're on this journey that takes you from A to Z and everywhere in between. And you know, the thing that people talk about Dre's production and his beats and the way he makes records sound and how he makes them sound in the club, and there's no question he's one of the best, if not the best, in the rap world. But you know, the thing is that Dre's always had the ability to make records theatrical. Like if you go back to his albums or the NWA albums or the Eminem albums, you know, all those little things where the record stops and goes into a little bit of like movie dialogue or something that he's created that kind of adds a little suspense to the story. Right. And that's all across the Kendrick record. And so you really feel like you're listening to this album and you don't want to stop. Like you don't want to skip and you don't want to stop because you might miss a nuance. So that to me is a remarkable record. And you know, there's been some amazing albums right across the board. And the SMD album's great. Semi Mobile Disco album is really great. You know, I'm trying to think, you know, on a singer-songwriter level, I love the Ben Howard album. That's been out for a little bit. You know, it's tough, you know, because albums just kind of go by so quick, you know, and music moves by so quick. But the one I'm listening to non-stop at the moment is the Kendrick record. Oh, the Tame Impala album obviously is phenomenal.
Where can people check out your mixes too? Because I know you put up mixes online and whatnot. So where can people check out your...
I mean, I've got a SoundCloud, Zane Lowe SoundCloud. But I mean, right now what I'm really primarily focusing on is producing again. And that's been a thing of major interest to me.
Really?
Yeah, like... I mean, the DJing has been really fantastic and making music and re-edits and things that go with it's been great, but it moves so fast. You know, it moves so fast that like trying to play catch up and keep up, I don't have the time, but what I do want to put my time into if I'm going to make music is collaborating with people.
Okay.
So I got a track on the Example record. I've been in the studio with Pro Green. That to me is like so exciting right now because it's been on the back burner for a while. So being back in the studio and working with rappers and making beats and making...
Is that what you want to lean towards more in the production aspect? Would you want to lean towards more hip-hop, like dance music, as opposed to rock and roll?
No, I mean, anything that moves me, really. And I mean, every track I've done has been really different. So I just like the idea that as I get older and, you know, someone else eventually, you know, takes that radio show and somebody else eventually steps on stage and plays that slot. And, you know, what a nice way for me to round it out would be just to be able to chill in the studio in a comfortable, like, you know, spinal and like comfortable chair and make records. I mean, that would be fun, right?
Okay, so since you're on the inside, you're in the know, I think, because you're friends with a lot of these artists that come out of the UK and whatnot. Let's see if we can get the inside scoop on some stuff right now from Zane Lowe. Will Oasis ever reunite?
Yes, they'll get back together eventually.
When?
I have no idea. I mean, they say it'll never happen, but come on, man. Those guys, they love a contradiction, right? Their whole career's been based on it. So when Noel says it's never going to happen, secretly back in the back of his mind, it probably will. I mean, it was acrimonious, but they still love playing those songs, right?
Right.
I mean, BDI just started playing Oasis songs. Noel's been playing them ever since he started out. If you love playing those songs, eventually you're going to want to play them together. So that's just math.
Blur, they're announcing some more, there are more shows. They're playing a couple festivals next year. Will there eventually be a full-on tour?
I don't know. By full-on, I don't think there'll be like 2 years, like they're 25 again and they're going to travel around in tour buses. But I think if you are in a major city or you're willing to travel to a major city, I'd be surprised if they won't give you a chance to go see them play.
Okay. The Smiths?
Never.
Never
going to happen.
Never, ever?
Never going to happen. Just because it's like, they would have, right?
Oh, sure.
I mean, but this is scary. You want to blow your mind?
Okay, what do you got?
I'm going to blow your mind.
Go ahead, man. What do you got?
You ready for this? I have this thing. I've worked this thing out. I've narrowed it down to one little element. Right? I've got a new element in science. Ready?
Make it happen.
There is only one legendary band that has never reformed. Name another one. Like, they're the only ones. Go.
The White Stripes.
That happened like a year ago. You can't say it like I'm saying.
It's true though, they've never reunited.
All right, you totally disproved my theory. But the point is, that's very recent. I'm saying, like, in terms of like the legendary ones, like
Right.
Pavement, Refused, Quicksand, At the Drive-In, the Pixies,
Zeppelin.
Smashing Pumpkins, Zeppelin, Soundgarden, right? Even up to 3-4 years ago, there was a huge list of bands we were all dying to see, right? They've all done it, except the Smiths.
Albums to look forward to for the rest of the year, or maybe like into early 2013. Like, what are you looking forward to hearing?
Foals.
Okay.
New Foals album coming out. It's going to be exciting. New Everything album is going to be exciting. There's going to be a new Tiny Temper record I'm really excited about. There's going to be a new Biffy Clyro album, double album, full of, like, you know, it's supposed to be incredible. Actually, that could be a breakthrough moment for them in the States as well, because, you know, hard rock seems to be kind of... Have you noticed hard rock's getting... Well, maybe in America it's different. In the UK, hard rock's kind of getting its swagger back.
I don't know about that, man, because...
See, here it's all just like this.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing. In the United States, I feel like on the coast, New York, LA, and then like the bigger cities like Chicago and stuff, we kind of tend to stay away from the quote-unquote cock rock scene.
Right.
You know, like Nickelback, Theory of a Dead Man, like Saving Abel, all that stuff, because we don't want to deal with that nonsense. No, but just that scene to me, like, I feel like more like in the South and like more in like Middle America, I feel like, you know, red state rock.
You're telling me I don't know anything about it. I mean, from my point of view, there's been some really exceptional kind of thoughtful rock and roll being made, hard rock being made, bands like While She Sleeps, Architects, Bring Me the Horizon are fucking crazy weird, and they're amazing. And I think that in the next 12 months there's going to be a real resurgence. Let me put it this way, man. You know, they're slightly more on the pop rock side of things, but this band New Meat 6 just finally put the first arena show on sale in the UK. You know, it's a tipping point, and when an artist first puts an arena show on, that you can trace the kind of whole EDM thing to the day that one of those key artists, like a few years back, put the first like big arena show on. Right. That's kind of when it starts. Okay. And I think that in the next few years, you know, the climate will have changed a little bit, but there's amazing records to look forward to. I mean, I can't wait for the Major Lazer album.
That's gonna be huge.
You know, I mean, Diplo doesn't fuck about.
No,
you know,
he does not. No, he does not. All right, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Zane Lowe.
See, you can't put your hand.
You can't
without me clasping
it's just gonna.
I got to clasp.
Oh, there you go. The King of London, Zane Lowe. Americans, if you don't know, go to BBC Radio 1's website. What is it again? BBC Radio.
BBC.co.uk/Radio 1.
He's been doing this. He's such a professional. And stream his show. You can stream his show live.
On the iPlayer, 7 days from broadcast. 7 days from broadcast.
He's playing at, what is it? Let's see. You go, is it 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? Because you broadcast 7.
Yeah, now you're just twisting my melon, man. I have no idea.
What time do you broadcast in the
7
UK?
p.m. BST.
That would be 2 p.m. EST. Right. 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
We should have a show together, right? This is seamless. Seamless cross-promotion.
I'll tell you what. Next time I come out to the UK, actually, I've never been to the UK.
Come to the show.
I would love to come to the show.
Please.
Would you have us on?
Yeah.
Dude.
By on, you mean like on the air?
On the air.
No. But you can come down and hang out.
Scumbag, thank you so much. You're a wonderful man. I appreciate it. And guys, seriously, go stream his show. It's good times. And before we end this, he's gonna let us know who's gonna headline Glastonbury next year. Rolling Stones?
Yeah, they got to do it, right? They got to do it.
It would make sense.
They've got to do it.
It would make sense.
There's too many rumors that have been flowing around every single year, and this one's kind of started in earnest. New album coming out. They've got to do it.
I agree.
They have to do it. And maybe, who else? Maybe, I don't know, you think Adele would do it?
At Glastonbury?
Yeah.
I mean, it would make sense though, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
What if Beyonce could do it?
She's done it. Huh?
Daft Punk?
Oh, come on, but that rumor's been around forever. The pyramid within the pyramid? Dude, come on. I suppose. Okay, so Daft Punk on one day, Dr. Dre presents Detox on another day, and then a Reformed Smiths on the other day.
Nice.
We're there.
There it is. Glastonbury. It's going to be happening. It's going to be awesome next year. Zane Lowe, thank you again so much, man, for taking the time. Really do appreciate it. And we are going to see you when we see you. The man right here. That's all that
was
needs.
fun, man. Thank
Dude,
you so much.
Thank you.